to the For Fun of Knit podcast. This is a podcast strictly about all the fibery fun we can get into. It's predominantly knitting. At some point, I would like to be able to expand it to other fiber arts, but certainly everybody's welcome. Spinners, knitters, crocheters, crafters of all types. Certainly seem to be enjoying it, and so thank you so much. For those of you that are visiting for the first time, welcome, and thank you for giving my little YouTube channel a shot. For those of you that have been returning, thank you so much. It just tickles me so much that you're getting a kick out of the videos. As you know, I started these videos just to catalog my knitting journey because I'm a relatively late bloomer. I've only been knitting for about 4 years. So yes, the gray hair kind of gives that away in terms of the late blooming part. But it turns out people were kind of interested in it, so I kept doing it, and it's turned out to be such a wonderful experience. I recommend anybody who is thinking about doing a podcast, just do it. Why not? There are thousands of podcasts out there, certainly knitting ones, and I love them. I have a little search button that says, or I always type in knitting podcast episode 1, and I get all the new folks that are coming on, and I just love being introduced to the knitting community as a whole, but all the new podcasters, which is kind of fun. There's no such thing as too many podcasts in my mind because yeah, your mood changes, you know, your style preference, you know, so many podcasters have such different styles, from very quiet knitters to very vivacious personalities to very technical, you know, coverage. So depending on your mood and depending on what you're looking for, there are podcasts of all ilks that we can all enjoy. So the more the merrier. That said, my name is Linda. I should probably introduce myself. I'm coming to you from Surrey, British Columbia, which is just 45 minutes, only because of traffic, outside of Vancouver. I think it's only like 40 kilometers, so it's not that far. But traffic is just... Yesterday I drove into town to visit with some friends for the first time. Oh my goodness, everybody's vaccinated, etc. I think I was just on such a high of energy because I got to actually interact with some of my friends who I have not seen in years. So it was just so exciting. But I drove all the way downtown Vancouver. It took me an hour and 20 minutes. Wasn't rush hour traffic, just everything is under construction. If they're not closing lanes for bicycles or whatever, or building condos or something. Anyway, that 40 kilometers took me an hour and 20 minutes to get there. Well worth it though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, so again, if you're first time at this watching my podcast, thank you. And if you're returning, oh, a big hug to all of you. I love all the comments. It's been so helpful. Makes me feel very much part of a community, and I just enjoy, you know, some of the banter going back and forth, and I feel like I'm getting to know you a little bit, some of you a little bit by your comments, so I greatly appreciate that. Of course, you get to listen to me. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, ramble on for an hour, but just your little comments really, they're very heartfelt, and I just absolutely enjoy them, so I just wanted to say thank you so much. This is a really traditional kind of podcast. I'm not a super creative person that way, so talk about what I'm wearing and finished objects and works in progress, which, you know, that's kind of my downfall. I love casting on, like so many of us do. And then talking a little bit about acquisitions. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus for a couple weeks in terms of knitting, and not a total hiatus, but my volume of knitting has like gone right down. Have not lost my mojo. Oh no. I just decided to take advantage of the carpet cleaning opportunity. So we had our carpets in our house cleaned. Before I go on, I should probably say, if you don't want to listen to any of the chatter, look below. If not on the very first day, within a couple of days of me posting this video, I will put notes, including timestamps. So if you don't want to listen to any of the chatter, you can just skip right ahead. No offense, none taken. I totally get it if you want to just listen to the knitting part. But so what I was saying was, last couple of weeks, my knitting has slowed down immensely because I took the opportunity to give my little knitting nook, my knitting space, a refresh. We had the carpets cleaned, so everything had to come out of my office. Didn't have to, but I chose to. It didn't make any sense to clean the middle of the carpet, but not all the edges. And I have a dog, so bless his cotton furry socks. You know, he's 80 pounds, he's furry, he slobbers a little bit, just, you know, any dog does. They sneeze and all sorts of fun things. So no, just doing the middle of the carpet didn't make sense. So I hauled everything out of my, was my work office, which I then converted into like a knitting den. And I thought, no, it's time for a refresh. I want to go away from all the, you know, espresso, dark brown, black motif, or decor, I guess, that I had that really kept me calm while I was working. Because my job was not a creative job, it was more about math and finance. So it just was a really good space for that. Knitting, however, is all about brightness and lightness and color for me. So, and even we're talking color includes beige and cream and black and gray. So it doesn't have to be pinks and purples. But I thought this would be a great opportunity. And a few of you did warn me that it would take longer than I thought, but I thought, oh no, I'm really productive and, you know, I get things done. I think we're into week 3 now, and oh my goodness. So a couple things have happened. I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. And not that I can't redecorate a space, not in any professional capacity, but I did not fully appreciate how much stuff I had packed into that little space. I think you've seen some of the pictures on Instagram. Lordy, 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 lordy. I somehow have become a bit of a pack rat or a hoarder or whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, I'm looking off into space because I'm dumbfounded at myself. I just don't know how that happened. I've never been a minimalist, never. I like my stuff. But you saw the other 2 rooms. I took everything out of that one room and put it into 2 rooms, and they're full. And now that I've finished painting the desk, which you'll see pictures of soon, now that I've finished painting the desk and I'm starting to put the space back together, it's not going to fit. I don't have wall to ceiling, you know, floor to ceiling shelving anymore. I got rid of a lot of that. So I'm just going, I do not know how I got that much stuff in one room. I've sort of overwhelmed myself. And so now I have this huge mission to minimalize. Like, all that stuff that's in those 2 rooms is not going back in that space, because while it seemed very comfortable at the time, now when I just look at it, it kind of stresses me out. And not really stress, but I just go, no, there's no way that I, as one human being, need all that stuff in my space. I want to be light and airy and creative, and if I put all that stuff back in there, it is going to look like a storage closet. So, not so good for me, perhaps very good for you, because part of this is I'm going to be destashing. And destashing means I am going to put a lot of my yarn that I love, but I'm probably never going to get to. Let's be real. I'm never going to get to, because there's always something else that comes up. I'm going to put that in my giveaway bin. And my giveaway bin is now about 5 or 6 bins. And so I'm trying to think of a way to share some of that loveliness with everybody. So, and we'll start a little bit of that today. So enough chatter, let's get on to the knitting. So what am I wearing? I am wearing wool. I am wearing a combination of, this is Iliamani. Is this Iliamani? No, this is Diamond Luxury yarn and it is their alpaca, linen, and silk blend. It is a DK weight, and this is the Tenya from Caitlin Hunter. You probably can't see it. Sorry, you're going to hear the scraping of a chair. This is the Tenya from Caitlin Hunter. I don't know if you can see the beautiful lace work on the bottom. I hope you can. but just a nice scoop neck, short sleeves. It's very flowy and airy. The drape on this yarn is fantastic. I love it. What I would say, and I've said this is an old sweater. This is the actual first sweater I finished. And I finished it in Spain. So if you saw my episodes in Spain, Robin, if you've just watched this, hi Robin in Ottawa. Yeah, you've just seen this one, but it's really a nice, there's a bit of a wind. I'm sitting in the shade, so it's lovely. It's very, very comfortable. It has a great drape. It's perfect for this pattern. What I would say is not suitable to anybody who has sensitivity to a little bit of the prick. And the reason being is I don't think that they pulled all the guard hairs out of the alpaca. My original thought it was the linen fiber, but it's not. I think it's the guard hairs of the alpaca. So they don't make this yarn anymore, so that would probably be why. I have in my stash a beautiful iced blue, same yarn. It was on super duper pooper sale, so I bought it a long time ago. It's been in my stash for as long as I've been knitting, so about 4 years. And it's an ice blue, so I am going to do an Isabel Kramer sweater, I think, with that. But it's going to be a winter sweater where I have to wear a t-shirt underneath, because it doesn't bother my arms so much, but it's a little picky around the neck. So if you have any, I would never make a shawl out of this. I would never make a cowl or a turtleneck. For me, it had to be a scoop neck where I could wear a t-shirt underneath it. Otherwise, I just couldn't wear it. But there you go. Anyway, love this. It's a great knit. Part of the misadventures of knitting. I'm going to show you my shoulders. I don't know if you can see this or not, but can you see this seam? So, sorry if you're getting a really close-up look of me. But this is my very first seaming job. And I'd sewn a little bit in the past, and I always knew that when you sew things together, when you're seaming, you put the wrong sides together, and then you seam it, and then you fold it the right side out, and you get this beautiful seam. Yeah, that rule doesn't apply to knitting. So I did the same thing. I put the right sides together, I seamed it, you know, and then I ended up with the actual seam on the outside of the sweater. So I did it on this one, and I was too terrified to take it apart, so I did the same thing on the other one, so at least they match. But there you go, that was my misadventure with this sweater. So yeah, when you're knitting for yourself, you can do crazy things, and it doesn't matter. I love it. People think it's part of the sweater. It works for me. But that's what I'm wearing. As for finished objects, again, not a lot of knitting completed, but I did finish my socks. So thank you all for your comments on what I should do with these socks. This is my typical vanilla pattern. I originally started knitting socks. The very first pattern that I tried was CC Almond's French vanilla cappuccino, I think they were called, which is a paid for pattern. But it was and from that I've been able just to knit my own socks going forward. So I tend to do toe up. These ones were toe up. I just knit a 15-inch tube, 64 stitches, and I use a 2.25. When I'm doing magic loop, what I have found is if I'm using a 9-inch circular, I knit much tighter, and so I need a 2.5 millimeter. Otherwise my sock is horribly tight. So you will have noticed that in the last episode as well. But this one, anyway, it was toe down. And what what the big aha moment for me on this one was self-striping yarn. Probably don't do toe up if you want to have control of the heel color. The reason being is for my exact measurement, I had to cut the heel in the white stripe. And I was worried in the last episode going, I don't want a white heel. I want it to look nice and cohesive, and I like to matchy-matchy a little bit. And I thought, oh my God, I was gonna have to do a white heel because it would look kind of odd if I put in a different color. But as it turns out, somebody suggested I go with the gray, just cut in the middle of the white and go with the gray, and I did. And they look fabulous. I absolutely love them. Look at this. This is Timber Yarns in there. Believe it or not, they're Silver Bells colorway. I think they still have some. I'm not sure. Go away, wasp. I think they still have some. this does not speak Christmas to me. I was knitting it as a Christmas knit Christmas in July, and no, it doesn't look Christmassy at all to me. So I put, you know, the gray toe and the gray heel. Oh, but I love them. They are so pretty. Look at those colors. Aren't they lovely? I just love them. Socks make me so happy. So if you can't do anything, at least knit socks. That's my theory. And I love the vanilla socks. I know there's so many lovely patterns out there, and I have one of my works in progress, which we're not going to go over today, is the Sherwood socks from Kay Jones, the Bakery Bears, which it's a beautiful pattern. But I've mucked up so many times now, and I have to undo it again because I keep forgetting one of the cable pieces. When I'm knitting socks, I guess I'm just so used to being able to go around and around and around and around and around, because it's the mindless part that I really enjoy, that I keep messing those ones up. So those ones are going to take me a while. I am going to finish them. They are beautiful, great pattern, well written. But for me, socks, I think I might do a few more patterns, but for the most part, I think they're going to have to be vanilla. Otherwise, I'm just going to struggle a lot. I'm going to struggle a lot. And I'm fighting the sun here, folks. So if you start seeing me scoot a little over, it's because I'm trying to avoid the sun. But there you go. Okay, so works in progress. What can I talk to you about? Okay, let's talk about this one first. This is called the Bracuhy. I hope that's how you pronounce it. This is from Beatriz. This is Beatriz right here. Beatriz Rubio. She is from Brazil, if I'm not mistaken, and she's living in Santiago, Chile at the moment with her hubby and her cat. And she is the creator behind Samba knits. And this is the test knit that I am doing, and it is such, I hope you can, ooh, I should take it out. Maybe I'll take it out. Sorry about the crinkle, but I'll take it out of the plastic. Maybe you can see that a little bit better. I won't insert a picture on this one, but this little panel of lace is just enough lace to be interesting. It is a really boxy fit, and I love the 3/4 length. It's a drop sleeve, so you're not going to be locked in Sleeve Island for long, because it's a drop sleeve and they're straight. There's no gathering, there's no seaming. It is a quick summer knit for like a sweater, because you know, you still need a sweater in the evening sometimes, etc. And half of why I wanted to test knit that one was because I had this beautiful yarn, and it's almost identical color to what Beatriz knitted in originally. But this is how far I am. Look at this. I am ready to split for the sleeves. So now what you do is you don't really split for the sleeves, you split the front and the back. And now I'm going to work on the front with the lace work and do the sleeve shaping, and then do the back. I only have 9 more days, and I have to get this done because it's supposed to be done by July 31st. And what is today? The 22nd. So I got to get cracking. But needless to say, this is lovely. Look at that lace. What I love about it, it is only 5 repeats. So I've got my stitch markers, mostly my coconut stitch markers, so that I don't lose my space. It's a 12-row repeat. So you're doing it 5 times, 12 rows, and then it's just a zoom knit. And every second row is a knit. So it goes quite quickly. So it's just enough knit to be interesting, but it's still simple enough that it's good for TV knitting. So absolutely, look at that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And the yarn that I am using, and this is new to me, I had never used this before, it's Iliamani, not the same as this, but Iliamani Sabri, which is, I got it wrong the last time, it's 85% cotton, 15% alpaca. And it is so squishy and light and summery. It's so nice on the hands, I have to say. Loving it. I think this is going to be a really nice wearing garment too. I don't know how much it's going to bloom because I did not swatch. Now I know. You know me. I didn't swatch. So what I have noticed, because I didn't swatch, is that while I am getting stitch gauge, I'm not getting row gauge. And so my garment is shorter, unsoaked. What do you call it? Unblocked. It is shorter than the recommended gauge. So, and I don't know, being this 85% cotton and 15% alpaca, how much this will grow lengthwise. So that's kind of a mystery. So, hey, adventures in knitting. Hopefully it's not going to be a misadventure. Otherwise it'll be just a cropped version of her sweater, because it's supposed to hit you right at the hip length, below your waistline, right at the hip length. So, but again, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, Beatriz, I will get this done. So that is whip number 1 that I wanted to share. My second whip that I wanted to share with you, some of you may recognize this. Ta-da! Don't know if you can see this, but guess what this is? This is Patty's sweater. Yup. Lorian, if you're watching, am I tenacious or what? Let me tell you, this is probably try number 4. So, couple things. I'm not going to go into huge detail about this. If you want to know more about the sweater, go back some episodes. But the actual sweater is the button neck sweater. Sorry, that's the button neck sweater. Don't know how well you can see that. There we go. Sorry, Patty just had a question and I had to hide the sweater really quickly because he doesn't know that I'm actually working on it. So anyway, this is a Le Berge de France pattern, really old pattern, not in print anymore. A lovely Ravelry person gave me, sent me a copy of it because it was a pattern Patrick and I searched for a long time. It had a really unique neckline. It is a little bit of a flap over with 3 buttons, and the collar is lined with I'm going to use a really nice cashmere type of very soft yarn. Okay, so originally I was using Brooklyn Tweed Quarry, which is a, I'm going to say almost a bulky weight, woolen spun yarn. Lovely, lovely yarn in the obsidian colorway. Patrick loved the color. But honestly, the yarn was too thick. I couldn't get gauge, didn't matter what I did. So I ended up knitting it twice and it was not working. And I thought, that's it, I have to go, the pattern was called for a DK yarn. So again, being a novice knitter, I didn't really understand that actually the weight of the yarn does matter a little bit. And I didn't understand gauge. So, yeah, so now I've started it again and I am just using Drops Charisma. Mix, which is just 100% wool, but it's a blend. I think it's 100% wool. I'm pretty sure it's 100%. Yeah, it's 100% wool, which just means it's a mixed blend of wools. It's rustic, but not, it's quite soft. Like this is soft. It's not even, it's less picky than this, believe it or not. So it's still lovely. It's almost an exact color match to the obsidian, which made me very, very happy. But what I'm really liking about this, had I known, is the actual stitch definition. This yarn, because it's the right weight and because it is a plied yarn, woolen spun versus plied. Linda learns, takes me a while. You can actually see the fisherman's ribbing. And I'm just so ecstatic that I'm now making progress. So that's like huge change number 1. Huge change number 2 from my original several attempts is I'm knitting it in the round. The pattern is knit in pieces, front and back. And I just thought, I gotta get this puppy done. So how hard, here we go. This could be a misadventure. Number 4, I'm not too sure. But I thought, how hard could it be to actually do it in the round? So when I get to the part where I have to split for the sleeves and start shaping the front and the back, I might be calling on some of you. Because the actual knit the front and the back together in the round, not so hard. All my stitch count is fine, all that kind of stuff. And I'm doing 2 purls right at my halfway stitch markers to sort of create a faux, just a separate, a little bit of a seam. It's not really gonna be a seam because it's ribbing. But so far, I haven't gotten far, I know, but I'm so excited. So I'm re-excited about this sweater. Can't knit a lot on it at the moment. One, because it's still freaking hot out. But it is it's underway, so I'm so excited about that. And that sweater is actually sitting in my Rave Stitches bag. I showed you this one last time. And she's got a shop on Etsy. I forgot to mention my test knit is actually in my, what is it called? Handmade by Sew Shannon, as an SEW Shannon Yarn Co. And this is a quilted bag. I love it. And it's got real leather little handles. It's absolutely lovely. And it's the perfect size for a lightweight sweater. So I've got all the yarn in here and it's going to fit perfectly. So loving that. Love my Rave Stitches bag. Next work in progress, flying right through them. I won't go into too much detail on this one. Just wanted to show you where I'm at with my Vertices United. Yay, my Vertices United. I am on section 5. How does this thing go? It is massive, man. It's just massive. So it starts over here. This is section 1. And as Stephen West says, these two are on a date. This is section 2. They are sort of the chaperones. These two colors you gotta love. These ones are the chaperones, so they just have to be, you know, a nice color combo. I happen to love these ones too. Because this is a bronze and a pink. This is a chartreuse and a cream. Then you've got your standout skein. This is section 3, which is a big rectangle. And this is my Sassy strings. I do believe this is Sassy strings. And I can't remember the colorway, but I will list it. And then you go to section 4, which this is the color that is supposed to create the I-cord border all the way around it as well. But I'm not too sure if I'm going to do a chartreuse I-cord around it or if I'm going to use the variegated. I haven't quite decided. And that's the fun thing about Stephen West patterns is you can kind of do what you want to do. And then I'm now on section 5, which is more of the bronze. And then I'm going to finish it in cream. And then the I-cord is going to be either this variegated or it's going to be the chartreuse. Haven't really, actually it's more apple. I'm going to say that's more green apple than chartreuse. Haven't quite decided, but this, I started like I need to make a shawl at this point with all the things that I have to do, but look at how large, like this is, it's not even finished and it's huge. It's just massive. My arms are completely spread. It is going to be wonderful, super squishy. I love all my yarns, which are a combination of Shibui, staccato. I've got Chester yarns out of Alberta. I think they're out of Alberta. They might be out of BC. Chester yarns. I have Polka Dot Creek in here. I have Sassy strings in here. Absolutely loving it. Loving it, loving it. And I started this because of, well, Chevis from the Chevy Stuff podcast, Cheverell Stuff podcast. She talked about it because she started watching Fibre Hustle, which is Aaron and Chip. And I started watching them because of her. And then I had to cast on because they're having a casual, I don't think there's prizes or anything, but a casual Instagram Ravelry knit along on Vertices United. And it has to be done by August 8th. And honestly, I need to get my test knit done. That is the priority. As much as I love knitting on this, because it is such an easy TV knit, and I can see myself making many, many more, or not many, but at least another one, because it's so fun. Oh, one of the things I did want to say that makes it really fun, and I just want to show this to you, is the way and it's probably not unique to Stephen West, but it's certainly new for me, but just the way that he joins his colors together, might not show very well on here, but just the way he joins his colors together, front and back, he creates such a beautiful edge that it's so pretty on the front and the back. On the front, it's seamless. On the back, it's almost like a feature, like an artistic feature that you kind of see. Look at this, how pretty that is. As long as you don't make any mistakes, don't look too closely. You can wear it inside out and you just have this beautiful finishing. So I have to, and I don't recollect that from other shawls so much because I'm not joining colors like I do in a Stephen West shawl. So this has been a lot of fun. I have to say it's been a lot of fun. Apologies for all the stops and starts, but oh boy, I created quite a tangle in in my Vertices Unite. Okay, last whip before we get on to shawl surgery is my very first crochet project. Shouldn't really say that because I did attempt a granny square blanket and I got through maybe 5 rows, but I didn't understand casting on, and I ended up having this like really tight cast on, and then my blanket was going like this, so I only did about that much, and I pulled the whole thing out because I thought, oh, obviously I need to learn how to crochet before I just start crocheting. And so yes, I on Vogue Knitting Live, Virtual Live, I actually took a Learn to Crochet course, so that was really helpful. And I've been taking a few courses on either Knit City, Knitscape, or Vogue Knitting Live, Virtual. And what I am so inspired by Martin of Knit 365, and he is out of England, and he is a knitter crocheter, and he's just a hoot. If you haven't ever seen him, check him out, Knit 635. And he got me into, he keeps talking about, he crochets little animals, and he keeps talking about his menagerie, the menagerie that he is crocheting, and he has all these different little animals. And so that just got me so inspired that I am knitting, hang on. Okay, I keep going back and forth and forgetting things and having to bring them outside, and part of that is because my knitting space is in 3 different rooms, and so I am not organized, and I do apologize if you're getting a little bit nauseous with me starting and stopping again. But I was saying Martin from Knit 635 has been doing Edward's Menagerie. These are Kerry Lord patterns out of Toft. I think she's the founder of Toft, if I'm not mistaken. Hope I'm correct about that. Toft yarns, but they do a whole bunch of patterns in crochet and knit. And so I have subscribed to their quarterly magazine. I haven't received one yet, but I'm looking forward to that. But I am knitting Emma, or pardon me, I'm crocheting Emma. Look how cute she is. Oh my God, I think she's just adorable. And so here's where I am. I have Emma's little body with her tummy. Emma has 4 legs. I am just working on her head. I'm not too sure how this is supposed to work out, but I think it's going to create a little bit of a snout. Now, it just seems like her head is a little bit big for her body. Might have to redo it, I don't know. And I'm just using Noro yarn that I had. And again, you're supposed to use Toft yarn, and Toft yarn is apparently really nice for stuffed animals. It's quite a nice squishy feel. But I don't know what I'm doing, so I wasn't going to go buy new yarn for that. So I'm just using Noro, and this one is sort of in a pinky beige with a few little speckles, which is perfect for a bunny as far as I'm concerned. And I'm actually going to do her ears with, I have got some Katya acrylic fuzzy yarn, so I'm going to add some fuzzy yarn to this for her ears. So I'm so excited. I cannot wait to do this. This is, and it's fast, I have to say. Crochet is speedy. And what's fun about this is you can do each one of the patterns in different sizes. So they're mini, they're regular, they're mini, they're small, they're standard, and they're large. I think that's the way it goes. No, small, standard, large, extra large, and I'm doing the large size because the standard is only 7 inches. So it's like, just 7 inches. And so I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. So anyway, I'm creating my own menagerie. So thank you, Martin, for enabling me and getting me on the crochet bandwagon. But look at these beautiful animals. Don't you want to have some of those? Anyway, very, very cute. So I'm looking forward to exploring this side of crochet a little bit more. I originally had signed up to do the Ziggy Interrupted Shawl, and I have all my minis picked out for that, which is a crochet pattern, and that was a Christy Glass sort of initiative. And I so wanted to do it, but again, I think I just bit off more than I could chew from a confidence perspective, because I've never really crocheted. And sorry, I just dropped my pin. Hang on a second. I will return to the screen. So I really didn't, I wasn't confident. And I didn't want to spend all that time trying to crochet this beautiful garment, and it is a beautiful shawl. Not actually ever really worked increases, decreases, stitches. I haven't done a granny square, or what do I know. So I thought this would be a fun way to start. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit warm. Can you tell I'm getting red? Getting a little bit warm. Okay, so now, are we ready? Are we ready for Linda to do just a little bit of surgery? So I said, I'm gonna have to change the camera around, because I think for you to see what I'm doing, because heck, why not? We are going to put in a bit of a lifeline, I think. So let's talk about the shawl. So this is the shawl that we are going to do surgery on. This is the Slipstravaganza shawl that I was doing in what I thought were Christmas colors. Golds and greens and whites and reds and pinks. And it turns out I really hate this part. I hate the honeycomb part. I love honeycombs, absolutely. But this, some of you liked it. Thank you very much. And thank you for all the suggestions. Frogging it's not an option. There's just too much knitting involved here. So I want to do something different. I'm going to re-knit this piece with colors that I like. It might just be white and mohair, might be white and pink. Something with a little bit of glitter maybe, and some mohair, some glam for Christmas, but certainly not that gold and green. I don't know, it just looks like a hayfield or something. Just not me. So I'm going to cut it, but before I cut it, and thank you, this was several of my commenters' suggestion. They said put a lifeline in it before you cut anything. Put a lifeline, so I'm just using a plain cotton, and I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to switch the camera around so that you can see a bit. So hang on. Okay, so here is the shawl, and I really like this part. So I love just the red and the white with a little bit of green here. So that's section 2, and section 3, I think, is this section, if I'm not mistaken. So that was section 1, this is section 2, and this is section 3. And I don't mind the gold, the little bit of gold and the little bit of green I've got going on there. But what I don't like is this section. And so my theory is, okay, so this could be a little bit challenging, but I'm going to cut along this edge here and through these little pillars, I guess. And I'm going to re-knit this section, the honeycomb section. And then when it comes back, when I get to this part where I'm doing these little pillars, I'm going to Kitchener or graft them somehow together. So what somebody suggested is make sure you pick up stitches and put a lifeline in first. Well, I'm thinking I have to put a lifeline in the row directly above, and I hope to goodness I'm picking up all the stitches, because this is an I-cord edging. And guys, if you see hangnails and stained fingernails, it's because I've been staining and sanding furniture. Oh, this could be challenging. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have never actually picked up stitches before this way, so I don't really know what I'm doing. Should I be looking at the back of it? Should I be doing it in the back, or should I be doing it in the front, or how should I be doing this? I don't know. Let's take a look. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna just hope I don't miss any, and if I lose, okay, I'm going to try and take the left. Let's take the left loop of every stitch. Kind of like what I would do, sorry for the kids screaming in the background, what I would do for creating, oh my goodness, sorry, they're yelling in the background. Here we go. Okay, so same as if I was going to put a heel in my sock is the way I'm looking at it, is try and keep the left loop of every stitch, but I don't really know what I'm doing because I can't see if that's really a stitch or not, or if I'm just grabbing a loop. Okay, but we're gonna try it. Okay, kind of like that. Hope I got everything. It seems like I missed something there, but see, looks like I've got something, so pull my lifeline through. Oops, why does my lifeline have a knot? What's the knot? Oh, I don't want a knot. Okay. And then I'm going to do it for each of the pillars. So let me do that and I'll come right back. Okay, so what I'm doing is I went in and I put my safety line. I put my safety line in all of the little sections well above where I thought I wanted to end up having a join, and I cut the shawl away. So now this is now surgically removed, and I've got a lifeline in approximately where I think all the stitches I need to save. But then what I've done is I've gone in with a second, hang on a second, I've gone in with a second lifeline, which just came off the needle, and I started at the beginning again, and here's my first lifeline, and it turns out in this particular one I have picked up the right stitches. But here, for example, the stitches I want to actually save are below here. Here's my first lifeline. They're below here. So I can now go through and pick up all the correct stitches and happily just rip out. So here's the first section where I have just saved the stitches on the bars, as you can see, and it's perfect. I'm not having any issues at all. So while it looked really scary when I started, it's turning out to be not so bad. And see, now I can confidently just pull out all these threads that are incorrect, because I'm going to go with my second lifeline and I'm going to pick up the stitches that I know I should be picking up. And so there's one right in here. It's a little bit, the first one's a little bit of a toughie, but I will get it because I know what I'm looking for now. There you go, that's the first one. And there's a second one. Where's the second one? There's the first one. Here's the second one. There's the third one. And the fourth one. There's 4 on these little pillars. There's 4 stitches I gotta grab. Can be a little finicky, but you just gotta have patience. And then once you have them, you can willy-nilly start unraveling. It's a little bit finicky, but what I would say is this whole process is going to take me approximately 45 minutes to get it on the right safety line and get all this muck pulled away. Oh, I should take the old safety line out. Take the old safety line out. That would be helpful. It takes about I'm going to say it's going to take me about 45 minutes to do all of them. But that means that this whole section of the shawl, which might not look like a lot, but it is a lot of knitting. I have saved myself all of that work. Now I can restart from the very beginning of the shawl, which was, I can't remember where I started, at the very beginning of the shawl, and re-knit this section, which I'm so excited about. So it was the I cord that you started with, and I can reknit this section, and then when I get to here, I just can graft it on to my pillars. And so I have to graft it onto my pillars, and at the edge I have to graft it on here. So you're going to see my edge isn't going to be perfect, and you're going to see a graft line, I have no doubt. But hey, that's a feature unique to my shawl, and I will now always remember what I went through in order to make my Christmas slipstravaganza. Anyway, stay tuned for once I start progressing on it and start knitting, choosing the new colors for the first part of the shawl, and then grafting it together. Okay, a completely different view again. So now you saw me hack out, surgically remove the first section of my slipstravaganza shawl. And so I'm not going to work on it now, but I will work on it in the coming weeks once I finished my test knit. So my goodness, I've got pieces of cut yarn everywhere. This I'm not going to waste. When I pull it together, it's going to be stuffing for something. I might actually even, I don't know, make something with this. This could be a jacket or a scarf for my bunny. I don't know. So there you go. Maybe that's what I'll do. Just do an edging on it. So not a waste at all. But that's what all my works in progress were. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I think it would be fun to actually show who the winners are for the comments on the shawl from the last episode. So the actual giveaway. So, okay, so let's try this again. Notice a little change of clothing. Sorry, and you can hear Duke drinking in the background. My battery died in the middle of announcing the winners, so let's try this again. So, yes, I got too hot and I ended up having to walk the dog and got too hot, so I changed into something a little bit breezier. Anyway, okay, so the giveaway was based on making a comment about whether or not I should cut the shawl or not, and what I should do with it. So thank you for all the comments. They were an absolute hoot to read them all. Some great suggestions, and I had put, as I said, in the comments, I had put that the end date would be July 15th, but if you didn't read the comments, you wouldn't have known that. And so I did receive comments on my YouTube video right up until yesterday. So I did 2 draws. The first one was for the true July 15th, and then I did a second one using the random comment selector for YouTube to choose another winner, just to make sure that it's fair. And heck, this is for the Fun of Knit podcast. So if I can't give away a little bit more stuff, then what the heck? Sorry, my hair's blowing everywhere. Okay, so now the first winner is Joanne Priel, and I'll put that up here. So thank you, Joanne. You're a new subscriber. I saw that you subscribed, so that's absolutely wonderful. And so you have a choice of the Westwool Bicycle or the Cozy Knitter sock set. So either one is totally your choice. And the second winner, who I just did another complete random draw, Joanne, you could have won twice, but you didn't, was Vero MTL. Don't know the actual name of that person, but thank you so much for watching and commenting on my video, and you will get either one of those. So if both of you could please email me at nenaknits, that's N-E-N-A, I'll put it down here, nenaknits@gmail.com, or direct message me through Instagram under nenaknits, then I will sure to get these out to you. So that is part of the Fun for Knit podcast. A couple other things I just want to go over. If you don't like acquisition stuff, then just sign out. Thank you so much for sticking around. But if you do want to see just a few of the little things that I have acquired, I've got my, I'm going to go over that now, and then I'm going to have another giveaway. So you'll have to just wait if you want to participate in the giveaway. Okay, so you know I started the Yarnable monthly subscription. I'm going to do one more month of Yarnable, and then I'm going to say enough of that. It's a really good subscription, I have to say. It's so cute. You get this cute little box, and then you get a whole bunch of little gifts that are in a theme. And this was the July theme, so it was very much 4th of July-ish, because Yarnable is Hypnotic Yarns and it's out of the United States. But hey, this is a knitting notepad. You've got to like it. Today's big goal, priorities, basically things I can do before I knit. So that's probably something I should pay attention to, because all I do is I go and knit. But it even has a little project, you know, like little projects on the bottom that you can say I'm knitting socks, a sweater, a hat. So very, very cute. I love that. I thought that was fun. And then it came with some stickers, which, you know, it has a progress keeper, a red, white, and blue progress keeper. So that's kind of cute. I guess it's a popsicle. And then a Knitting Vibes sticker. So Yarnables always has a theme every month. And so this was a 4th of July theme. And so the yarn that came with it, it always comes in a little bag like this. And I find these little canvas bags very useful to keep odds and ends, but it fits a sock. Totally fits a sock perfectly. But look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love it. It's an absolutely gorgeous color. And again, this is Hypnotic Yarns at yarnable.net, and this is the plush sock base fingering 8515 merino nylon. So I really do think this is a good, and you can get this in either DK weight or fingering, and I went with fingering. My next sock subscriptions that I'm going to do, I'm going to try DK. I've never knit with DK yarn, so I think I want to try that. So that's one of the clubs that I have. The other club, I missed Over the Moon June. I missed their June club. Did I get their July club, or was it their July club that I missed? No, I think it was their June club, so I haven't received July yet. The other one that I do is the quarterly club for Sassy Strings and Sassy Strings Studio, and this is, ooh, it always comes in a box and it's always nicely wrapped. And this is lovely. Oh, yay, this won't last. I get a chocolate, which I absolutely love. Ooh, this one, oh, I got foot butter. How nice is that? Perfect for summer, because, you know, wearing my golf shoes. Ooh, that's very nice. That's kind of like a bergamot smell. Oh, I love that. Ooh, that's a lovely, lovely smell. See, again, this person knows I golf. A pumice stone. What a wonderful thing. That's actually quite weighty. A pumice stone. I also got, ooh, how nice is this? A measuring tape. Can never have too many of those. Isn't that pretty? With little white Hawaiian flowers on it. It's almost like a hibiscus. I love that. I'm just going to put that in my notions bag right off the bat. And look at this. Scrumptious. Oh, wow. And this is worsted weight. See, I love it. She changes it up. Well, you get to choose what weight you wanted. And this is worsted weight. And this is 100% superwash merino. And the color is called, well, her base is squishy worsted, and the color is called Oasis. And look at it. It's got cafe latte, beautiful aqua, and it's got cream speckles. Oh, I'm going to love finding a project for that one. So that was my Sassy Strings. Sassy Strings Studio. I think that's correct. Club. So I wanted to show you that. I have a few things here. The other sock club that I joined was because I want to support some local dyers, was K-Zip Knits. And so this, she was with Wet Coast Wools, Kelsey, and she moved to Kelowna. So, and now she's in Smoke and Fires. Kelsey, I hope you're okay. It's, you know, it's lovely down here, and I know it's a little smoky where you are now. But she sends her yarn club in vacuum packed, so we're gonna open it up, which is always nice for shipping. And this theme was her summer drinks theme. And so her drinking leads to thinking. This is her sangria, a cranberry sangria for two. So she sends you a recipe and a little newsletter. And she always sends you a little gift. And this one has the cutest stitch markers. Look at those. These are sort of like piña, or a coconut drink in the very, very tropical. And I think she has sent me some pink sangria mix. That's exciting. She even sends you, this is so much fun, honestly. Kelsey, you're doing a great job. She sends you little drink umbrellas. So I gotta make Patrick and I some cranberry sangria drinks. Oh, maybe it's more of mom and I thing, but we'll have to see. And here's the yarn that goes along with it. Now I'm gonna fluff it out a little bit because, I lied. It is two complementary, a beautiful lemony yellow speckles with, I have to look at this now, some chocolate and orange speckles. How nice is that? With a beautiful, beautiful, I don't even know what that color is. It's not salmon and it's not peach. It's absolutely lovely. Isn't that summery? That says sorbet to me. Oh, I love those. Kelsey, those are lovely. Those are gonna make some beautiful summer socks. So I cannot wait to have an opportunity to work with those. So that is fun. Fun, fun, fun in the sun. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. So thank you, Kelsey. I will take it happily, happily. The last two more acquisitions that I got. Fleece and Harmony is a podcast from PEI. Fleece and Harmony, if you do not know, please check them out. It's Kim and Jennifer, two sisters who own a yarn shop, a mill, and a farm where they have sheep on PEI. And I am so thrilled. We are booked. We are booked to go to PEI September 18th. And I am going to meet Jennifer and Kim in person. I am so excited to go to their shop and see their mill, and hopefully they'll let me see their sheep. I'm not too sure. I won't be pushy, but I'm just going to fangirl them a little bit. I just think it's awesome. But this is Fleece and Harmony. If you haven't seen their podcast, they have a great podcast. And their signature yarn from their sheep in their and from their mill is their Selkirk base. They have a couple other bases, but I chose that they have just recently released some fades in minis, but in worsted. So this is their Selkirk worsted. And what does it say? It says, sourced from our happy place in Belfast, PEI. And this is the red gradient, which has cranberry, rhubarb, watermelon, grapefruit, and apple blossom. That's apple blossom. So I think it went from here around. And then I also got this one, and it's a total of 250 yards, 100 grams. And this is the blue gradient, and it starts with Night Without Stars, Blue Lobster, Northumberland Blue, Atlantic Sky, and November Sky. At least I think that's the way it goes. Because that's definitely Night Without Stars. Yes, I think it goes that way. But anyway, and they've got a green gradient and they have a grays gradient. So I just wanted to check out their worsted. It looks like it is a 2-ply. Yeah, 2-ply, nicely spun. But look at the dye job. Absolutely beautiful. I am looking forward to making probably some gifts with these puppies. Last yarny purchase was Polka Dot Creek in Alberta. It's Christmas in July. I didn't get to do a lot with Christmas in July. I basically finished my Silver Bell socks. Not really Christmassy, turned out not to be Christmassy. And I was been working on my slip extravaganza. You saw me just cut it. That was my Christmas in July. Hope to do something more Christmassy next year. But I did purchase from Polka Dot Creek their vintage Christmas card sock set. And I look at that. That so speaks Christmas to me. That's just wonderful. Now see, that's what my shawl, my slip extravaganza shawl should look like. Gonna have to think about that a little bit. That to me is very Christmassy. And I also couldn't help myself, but I got their Christmas yarn bouquet. So it's all their Christmas colors in 10-gram minis, 46 yards each, all fingering weight. And I didn't realize, but I actually bought 2 of them. So guess what? Just for the fun of knit, because hey, just for the fun of it. I am really thrilled. I think Polka Dot Creek is doing a great job. They've got really good customer service, and I would like to share some of the fun. And I have this project bag from Polka Dot Creek, which is very Canadian, kind of fun. It's got some Canadian flags, so even if you're American, you might have some Canadian friends. It's got canoes and a lighthouse and some mountains with snow. I am going to gift that plus one of these Christmas in July bouquets from Polka Dot Creek to a lucky winner. So absolutely, you need to be a subscriber, obviously. You need to comment on my podcast, and literally maybe the comment is going to be something simple like, what is the next project on your list? So you haven't started something, you haven't started it, but you're gonna cast it on in August or September. So that's the comment. I'd love to hear what you're about to knit. I have, as I reorganize my knitting space, I'm really trying to adopt a more minimalist approach. I have a huge stash of yarn, but I'm not going to put all of my yarn out there. What I'm going to try and do is only put the yarn out where I know I've got a project that I actually want to knit or cast on in the next couple of months. So say the next 3 months. So a 3-month supply of yarn. That way I'm hoping I'll go shopping in my own closet for a while, because I think I have a substantial amount of yarn. No sooner do I say that than I realize that I joined Wool Swap. Yeah, Wool Swap 2021. If you have not participated in that, I will let you know how it goes. This is my 2nd year doing Wool Swap. And the first year I was paired with a lovely lady in Alberta, and she sent me from Stash Yarns, she sent me that work sock kit. Oh, it was so cute. And some goodies in it. And this time I'm paired with a lovely lady from I think just outside of Montreal, or in Montreal, named Robin. And we're just coordinating now what our swap is going to be. And the window to join the swap is closed, I think. I think it closed on July 15th. But if you haven't done it and you just want to try something different, I think it opens up twice a year. So January will be another one. January, February will be another one. But just something to meet new knitters and, you know, get someone else to pick out some yarn for you is kind of fun. So I say that because I said no more yarn, and here I am doing a wool swap. So I'm going to give some of my yarn away, but I've also made a purchase for Robin because she's a very, very good knitter, and she has some beautiful ideas in mind. So I want to make sure that whatever I send her is something that she's really, really going to enjoy. Oh, I'm getting a grumbly voice. I've been talking too long. Is there anything else that I wanted to show before I go? Yes. Okay, so the last acquisition that we are going to talk about is the Tangled Stitch project bags. This is from Kelly of Knits and Pieces. She is in Ontario. You guys probably know her better than I do, but I participate in their Tuesday night knit and chat. And it is honestly the first knit and chat where I feel like it's actually a knit night. Even though it's all the way in Ontario, the audience is very interactive. I've mentioned them before. If you have a chance, you might want to check out the knit and chat on Tuesday nights. It starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I think 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But Kelly makes a very limited amount, but she, on her Etsy shop, every once in a while, puts these beautiful project bags. So I got this one, which is sort of like a, yeah, I'm going to say it's a sock size for the most part. This beautiful one, beautiful stitch work, beautiful detail. Absolutely love this. And the other one is, you know, could fit a shawl for sure. It's quite big. Nice pink on the inside. Noelle, her partner in crime, loves pink. So sorry, Noelle, I bought this one. But two new project bags to my collection. And again, this is the Tangled Stitch Kelly, and she has an Etsy shop, and I will put the link below. But those were sort of my acquisitions. I think that's enough. Don't you think that's enough? Oh my goodness, I think that's enough. So don't forget, Joanne, Vero, make sure you DM me for your prizes. The rest of you, if you want to win a beautiful project bag and a bouquet of minis, Christmas minis, please comment on what project is going to be cast on in the next month or two for you, because I need ideas. So I love hearing. Socks, I don't care, socks, sweaters, shawls, if it's crochet, heck, I'm doing a bunny. I have now gone from just knitting to knitting and a little bit of crochet. So working my way up to all the fiber goodness. So on that note, folks, I probably talked your ear off, which yes, Linda, I know. And this is a different Linda I'm referring to. You're listening to me because you want me to talk. But I always think, oh my gosh, how long can you listen for? My sister watches my podcasts. They're always an hour long or more, and I keep telling her, break them down into little snippets. You don't have to watch the whole thing all in one go. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. This episode was a little bit hit and miss, so hopefully my editing will smooth things out. But I hope you're all keeping well, hoping that life gets back to normal for you. Or you're really enjoying the new normal, because it might be around for a while. So on that note, have a great day, everyone. I look forward to chatting with you again in early August. And in the meantime, stay safe, take care, big hug to everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.